My name is David Kuhlman. I work for Velocys Incorporated. I am the quality manager and manufacturing engineer, and we have about 60 users, and that's probably going to grow to about 80 very shortly. Qualtrax was adopted pretty easily. Primarily, I think there were two reasons for that. I think the people that we had implementing it had an intuitive understanding of how the system worked. If you've ever done any computer programming, it's very similar to that in the structure and the way things are set up. And as far as the user interface goes, I spent on our last upgrade about 30 minutes with people going over the basics, and they were off and running. So it's just very intuitive and simple to use. In our company, every single department touches Qualtrax, and every single department benefits from Qualtrax. We have a number of workflows that are company-wide, and business just doesn't get done unless people use Qualtrax, and it has really become something that we depend upon quite heavily now. Using workflows in Qualtrax provides a number of savings for us, mainly in the area of time. It's difficult to quantify money savings, but time-wise, the simplicity of telling somebody that I need to set up a meal conference or that I want to ship something, it's a few clicks, fill in some fields, and you're done, and you can go back to what you're doing, as opposed to in a paper system or even in a system where people rely on verbal instructions. To call somebody to verify that they've gotten the request just takes time. With Qualtrax, you get the feedback that they've already received the request from you, and they're often processing it, and you can get on to more important things. We have a couple of workflows that we are pretty proud of that are essential for us in doing business. One of them is our purchasing system. Nothing gets purchased unless it goes through a Qualtrax purchasing workflow. And it's quite complicated because we have to attach quotes, we have to input information on pricing, W-9 forms from vendors. It gets quite complicated. That's all automated in Qualtrax. Managers can reject a request, ask for additional information, so it circles around quite a bit before it ends up getting fully completed. But that's how a purchasing process works in real life, and we're able to mimic that in Qualtrax. The other the other workflow that we use quite extensively, and we're pretty proud of, is something called a prototype fabrication request. Anytime somebody in our design department wants to build a new prototype, it automatically goes into the prototype fabrication request. That is a very lengthy input process because there's a lot of detail, but the beauty of that is that we can go back later and search any old prototype and find out when it was built, what parts went into it, what went right, what went wrong. And changes can be made in process. Those are all recorded within Qualtrax, so we can see all the changes that are made. The technical support team at Qualtrax is invaluable to me as the system administrator for Qualtrax and the quality manager, because anytime I have a problem, I simply call them up, and more times than not, they answer the phone right away. I hardly ever leave a message. And when they do call me, 9 times out of 10, we probably get on an interactive session where they're seeing my screen and we're trading control of the mouse back and forth, and I'm showing them things, they're pointing me to other areas, and it's so smooth. And then when there's a very difficult problem, they're more than happy to make a copy of our database and install it on their system, and then they usually call me back within a day and say, we found your problem, and here you go, here's the fix. So those guys know all of them. I've talked to them repeatedly, and it's just fantastic, the help that I get from them.